Ladies and gentlemen, I have tried to look at the politics which is being played within and without Wamunyoro group, and I have come up with the conclusion that Fred Okengo Matiang'I, being the best candidate who was likely to unseat President William Samoei Arap Ruto, he is not going to be given the presidential ticket to lead that group. And I have come up with 4 factors which actually will lead to Fred Okengo Matiang'I not going to have the presidential ticket within the Wamunyoro group. And those 4 factors include the following. 1. Regatha Gachagua shareholding factor. 2. Tribal factor, tyranny of numbers within the tribes. 3. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka factor. And lastly, Raila Odinga Nyanza factor. So, those 4 factors are actually going to make Fred Okengo Matiang'I to be denied the presidential ticket to lead forward the Wamunyoro group. And that is actually what I want us to have a candid discussion about. But before we dive in and try to critically analyze how those factors are going to affect Fred Okengo Matiang'I to get that presidential ticket, I could request you kindly to take a minute or 2 and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it's good to request them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And whenever you subscribe to this YouTube channel, always make sure to click the bell button, because by doing that, you will give YouTube the leeway so that you can get notified whenever we upload any political content into YouTube. Now, let us go back to the discussion why I believe that Fred Okengo Matiang'I is not going to be given the presidential ticket within the Wamunyoro group. And I start with factor number 1, Regatha Gachagua shareholding factor. As you know, Regatha Gachagua calls himself the truthful man, and he has come out and he is telling the people of this nation that he does not believe that Fred Okengo Matiang'I is going to bring in the shares from the Gusii community. And he has said that Fred Okengo Matiang'I does not command or is influence within the Gusii community. And because of that, he has said that they cannot give somebody a ticket who doesn't come with all the votes within his reach. Because Regatha said critically that for Fred Okengo Matiang'I to get the presidential ticket, the first thing, he must convince them beyond doubt that he has the greatest influence, total influence within the Gusii community, then he must also show them how he is going to have that influence. And he must also distance himself from Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And because of that sheer factor, because Rigiji believes that if Fred Okengo Matiang'i will command the Gusii shares, then he is supposed to come up to the national level with 2.5 million votes. And he has also said that he is also commanding the entire mountain. And because of that command within Mount Kenya, he will come to the national table with 3 to 4 million votes. And because of that, I don't see a situation where Regatha will actually give Fred Okengo Matiang'i the presidential ticket, because what matters is about the what? The shares you are coming with to the national table. So that game that Rigiji is playing on Fred Okengo Matiang'i is quite destructive, and it's quite very clear that it will deny Fred Okengo Matiang'i the presidential ticket. Now, let us come to the next factor. The next factor is about tribal factor. You know, in this republic, it has come to conclusion that for you to be on the presidency ticket, you must come from the Raj tribe. Those tribes which have what we call tyranny of numbers, which are fort-rich tribes. But if you are coming from a small tribe, like from the Gusii nation, which is about number 5 or number 6 in this republic with the population, then it's going to be very difficult for you to be given the presidential ticket, because in this republic, it is not easy for people or for political leaders to consider what we call performance. And now, because Fred Okengo Matiang'i comes from a small tribe, that also will make him not to be given the so-called presidential ticket, even if many Kenyans agree that he is the most suitable person who can unseat President William Samoei Arap Ruto, and he is a no-nonsense person, and he also is a great performer. But when it comes to the national level, you will find that the top cadre of politicians, they always consider which tribe are you coming from. So because of the tribal factor, that might limit Fred Okengo Matiang'i from actually being given the presidential ticket within the Wamunyoro group. And another factor is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka factor, because many people have come out and they have said that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has been in the political arena for the longest time, and he has sacrificed his political ambition severally. And they believe that this time, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka will not actually put down his political ambition for any person. And because Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka comes from a larger tribe compared to Fred Okengo Matiang'i, many people believe that those political leaders at the top, they cannot really accept Fred Okengo Matiang'i, who has been in the political arena for a shorter time, to compete and to be given a ticket which he can use to compete with President William Samoei Arap Ruto. And the last factor is Raila Odinga Nyanza factor. People feel that if Raila could endorse Fred Okengo Matiang'i for presidency, could come with that tide of Matiang'i Tosha, then it will be easy for Matiang'i to be given the presidential ticket, because that will help Matiang'i to come with more numbers to the national table, because he will now command the entire Nyanza as a region. But because of the factor of Raila politics in Nyanza, and which will divide the political divide between the Gusii region and the Luo Nyanza region, and that will affect the influence of Fred Okengo Matiang'i within the Nyanza as a region. And because of that, that will affect Fred Okengo Matiang'i so much when he is going to move towards the national table, because it is those political leaders who go to the national table who will come up with the person who they want to compete with President William Samoei Arap Ruto. But if the Kenyans were given a chance to choose the person who they feel that he should compete with William Samoei Arap Ruto, I am very sure many will say it is Fred Okengo Matiang'i. But because the Kenyans will not have a say about who is going to compete with William Samoei Ruto, it is the shares which you will come with to the national table which actually will determine whether you will be the candidate who is going to compete with William Samoei Arap Ruto. So the Raila factor will influence a lot the possibility of Fred Okengo Matiang'i not getting the ticket to go for presidency and to compete with William Samoei Arap Ruto. What are other factors do you think are going to deny Fred Okengo Matiang'i from actually being given the presidential ticket within the Wamunyoro group? Please drop your comment in the comment section below.